As the summer draws to a close, early fall becomes the best time to start watching for migrant birds. And if you're in the business of collecting data on those birds, then the Manomet Center for Conservation Sciences is the place to be. PCN recently headed out to the research lab that overlooks the ocean out in Manomet to meet an aviary scientist who gets up close and personal with their feathery flying friends on a daily basis.
This is actually a glacial terminal moraine from way back, and as we approach the old house, which was called Wide Water, built in 1896, then we get a spectacular view out over Cape Cod Bay, and we're looking right across to Cape Cod at that point. The main thing is that for over 45 years now we have been maintaining very fine nets on the property and doing research on migrant birds passing through in both spring and fall. This is the very beginning of fall, and so this is the best time for us to really start looking at migrant birds. With 45 years of data, we're able to see population increases and decreases. We put on US fish and wildlife bans. We know where the birds go, and so we're building up a tremendous amount of conservation biology information. And of course the goal is partly education of folks, and the other main goal is substantial conservation practices so that we know what we're doing, got the good science behind us, and then before we and other folks go out and spend money on conservation, we know what we're doing. One of the questions we always ask students when they come here from Manomet Elementary School, or students when they come from Wheaton College, is why do we ban birds? And one of the reasons to ban birds is to find out where they go. Each of the red pins here represents birds that were banded at Manomet since 1966. So what it does is it gives us an idea. All the red dots are birds heading south. Some of them spending the winter in the southern part of the US. Here we have an American robin all the way over in Texas on the Gulf Coast, for example. And some of the shorebirds from Plymouth Beach, where we've also done some banding over the years, are going right down into Central America. And in fact, all the way down south into Argentina and right down to Tierra del Fuego in the case of one species. So it gives us an idea of where birds go in the spring, in the fall, where they're breeding, what their routes are, and the timing of these migrations. If we do want to hold a bird just long enough to get a good camera shot of a bird or to take our own photographs, then we'll put them into our bird hotel. Here's a hotel, and we have 4 floors in the hotel. Each of these are individual compartments. I can hear somebody jumping around in here, and in the front, and here is a Carolina wren hiding behind the screen. They make a tea kettle, tea kettle, tea kettle, so and that would be the adult male, and they'll make that little tea kettle song in people's backyard. When birds come back, they come right back here, and they come in an individual cloth bag like this. And so we have a bird right here who has just come back from the net run. He's been processed. He's got his US Fish and Wildlife Service band on, and then each individual bird comes out in a banding grip. And George here is probably going to squawk. George, are you going to squawk? No, he's not. He's going to be good. We'll turn on some lights, and under the lights here you can see that this grey catbird, which is one of our iconic birds. This is a bird that breeds on the property, that migrates through in large numbers in spring and fall. Wow, that's the catbird noise. Wow. And this is actually an immature catbird. He looks a little bit ratty, I have to say, and that's because he's molting out of his fluffy juvenile feathers into his adult feathers. We have a release hatch right here. You open the release hatch, and through the rubber flange, then the bird will actually sit in this wooden box and be ready to take off in his own good time and fly away. So we'll put him out here, this box, until he's good and ready, and when he's ready, he flies away.